So I was just having a shower, as you can possibly see from my wet hair, and as any normal person does, I'm sure I was in the shower thinking about the relationship between government and labor unions, and specifically how people are convinced to vote left. When, if they were taught anything about economics and given any rational info, they would probably not. As far as low-income people are concerned, it's an interesting thing to me. So first we need to understand the relationship between labor unions and the government. This is the basic version of how it goes. Labor unions push for a higher minimum wage to limit the supply of labor. The supply of labor goes down, so the value of the labor of their members goes up, and so they can charge more and their wages go up. Sure, it's great for them. And the unions can now take more money from the union members. What they do with that money, or at least some of it, is give it to government officials so that they will continue increasing the minimum wage, and so the cycle continues. The minimum wage goes up, pricing more people out of the market. The labor unions get more money from their union members, and then they give some of that money to the government to get a higher minimum wage. Cool. So, to me, at this point, the individual who's lost their job would say, well, that's not good for me, so I'm not voting for you. But we have to think about what they will do after they've lost their job, and why this is really a double win for the government. Even the money they get from the labor unions, it's not, I don't even know if it's the better of the two things, because what happens is they'll often go on welfare. If you have a leftist government that the labor unions have likely helped elect, they'll go on welfare, and then from there, their incentive is to have more government. It's for the same reason that the CBC will never criticize the Canadian government, or I shouldn't say never, but they're far less likely to than a private company. And it's because that's where they get their money. If you get your money from the state, why would you want the state to be smaller? That's not in line with your incentives. You not that you should, but you would probably want the state to get bigger so that you got more money from them. So they kind of get you twice, right? As far as the government's concerned, they get the money from the labor unions, which I'm sure they enjoy because they get to use it for whatever silly thing they want, and it usually is in the form of some sort of personal bribe. So it's not like the government itself is getting it, it's the individuals within the government who are often getting it. You'll get to go on vacation somewhere or whatever, get some nice meals. So you get that, but you'll also get a whole new crop of people who are dependent on you and therefore will be far more likely to vote for you. So it's kind of the double win for government. And it's a second cycle. I mean, they increase the minimum wage, so more people get pushed out of the labor force, more people have to go onto welfare, and then more people vote for you. I think it's also a big reason as to why a lot of countries are importing so many third worlders, I suppose we'll call them. People from the third world. People who have no real ability to demand higher wages than what the minimum wage is. So they're destined to be on welfare. You take someone from Haiti or from one of the African nations that are exceptionally poor. I mean, they hardly even speak English. How are they supposed to work in Canada? How are they supposed to make a meaningful wage here? It's not possible. They can't pay for themselves. They certainly can't pay for their children and the rest of their family. So they have to be on welfare. And their kids will also probably be on welfare since they won't have much better chance than their parents. Sure, the English might be their first language, but they're still going to go through the terrible public schools, which, again, kind of just a breeding ground for leftist voters. So yeah, this whole cycle kind of, I don't know, was realized by me while I was having the shower. Kind of crazy. And really, I think at the end, the core of this problem is the terrible state of schools in the West. The public schools are just shit shows. I didn't spend very much time in them. I was in a private school, not like the higher-end private schools, though. No. I had to go to a Christian school, which was... Well, I probably would have taken the public school over that, but what are you gonna do? And it's not even to say there wasn't plenty of silly leftist bullshit there. I mean, I remember watching some documentary about how Alberta was going to run out of oil. It's like the stupidest thing. The tar sands are these wonderful. Well, they call them the tar sands, oil sands, whatever. They are these wonderful natural habitats. You know what they look like? Big fields. There's nothing there. It's some grass. That's it. Like, you're not destroying anything beautiful. It's just fucking sand with grass on it. Okay, it's like not a big deal. So anyway, yeah. Right. The public schools. That's where we were. Yeah. So I just kind of figured, really, the thing that we need to do to stop a lot of this, is just end the minimum wage, or at least put it to the point where it's maybe going to stop people from actual slave labor. But even then, I think that if someone is willing to enter into some sort of contract, then you have no reason or no right to say that they shouldn't be able to. Why would the government be able to use a gun to say no to someone working? That's absurd. That's just crazy to me. And the argument that, it's just stopping business, this is stupid. The thing that is the worst for individuals is having a poor education, and the education received in public schools is among the poorest. I mean, really, you know it while you're in school as well. You know that you're sitting there learning things that you're never going to use. I remember it all the time. It's like, we need to learn this math thing today. It wasn't terribly complicated, but fuck, no one's going to use that. No one cares. When was the last time I used trigonometry? I mean, it's been a long time. And, there are people who need to know this stuff, and maybe we, just let the people who need to know this stuff learn it instead of teaching it to everyone, where it's pretty fucking useless. Yeah, so that's basically it. Public schools are shit. This is pretty obvious. I think everyone who's gone through them knows that, and they lead to this situation where we have people who are not worth employing, and because they've been fooled into thinking that the increased minimum wage is going to be good for them while they're working for minimum wage, and then, once they lose their job, they have to go to the government, and this just breeds more voters for the government. So the government, through providing a terrible service, after taking all of your money, well, not all of it, but a whole bunch of your money, goes ahead and breeds more voters from your children. It's really, really great for the public, really awesome for individuals in the West, just the best possible system. Totally. Anyway, that is all I had here. Just a quick, that was an 8-minute video, kind of crazy, but quick shower thought video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. If not, leave me an angry comment. Have a good one.